Welcome back, everybody. Joining us, one of my favorite comics, Nick Mullen. You might have heard us mention him a few weeks back regarding his ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
We'll get into that. What's up, Nick? How you doing?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
You don't sound
He sounds pissed.
I'm not pissed at all.
Oh.
I'm worried that it might be boring just to talk about my ex-girlfriend more.
You think it's boring to talk about Rob blatantly hitting on a girl that you're dating that you brought to his house? That you think that's boring? I think it's fascinating.
Maybe I'm being defensive. Maybe I'm calling it boring. Maybe it's frustrating. I don't know.
Frustrating that Rob did that. I
Yeah.
can imagine.
set it all the way up. This goes back several years before I have my lovely girlfriend. So I was a single guy at the time, so I wasn't doing anything wrong on my end. But Nick was, gosh, I don't know, you were 18, 19. You were a young upstart comedian, and you were friends with Norman Wilkerson. You started coming to Wiseacres, where we'd all go. And you had this, like, super hot Lexus, was her name, Lexi, girlfriend. And we would all kind of hang out. And I never knew that you were bothered by the way I acted around her.
It was everybody. I mean, maybe a little bit you more than everybody else, but
I remember meeting her. I hope this isn't out of place, but she, like, exuded sex. She was very sexual.
right. Well, she was hoary. She was definitely
That's,
hoary.
I guess,
thing.
what I mean. She was super hot. She had a lot of piercings, probably tattooed, I guess. She was inked up, right? She looked like somebody that I would like to know, I guess. I'm trying to make
Right.
So anyway, you guys ended up breaking up, whatever. And
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her for a long time. And I like a year or so ago. But
You haven't talked to Nick Mullen's ex-girlfriend? Okay, got it.
I haven't seen her in years. But recently, Nick is now back in the area, and you were at my open mic, and you had some drinks, and you were kind of opening up to me, and you sort of said you'd forgiven me for this thing I didn't know that it upset you.
Also a very melodramatic diva drunk. There was never anything there. It's just I felt like we weren't friends, and then I brought Alexis around, and then we were kind of more friends, but it was mostly like, oh, so I can fuck this guy's girlfriend. Which in retrospect, I'm fine with
Well,
that.
now you are,
You know.
but at the time...
But here's the thing, like, I had reason to worry. Not really, but I don't know. I mishandled that situation. I was constantly accusing her of fucking other people. Because, again, I'm a very melodramatic drunk.
Right.
I would get loaded and then fucking get really angry at her for no reason at all.
Well, this isn't a place for you to try to get her back. She's not going to listen to this.
Oh, no, I'm going to make her listen to it. We're friends. I told her, I listened to the one last week, and I was like, oh, it's funny. They're calling you a whore. And I was like, it. And she was like, why would they say that? And I was like, well, come on.
We didn't call her a whore, did we?
Well, you said whorish. You said she looked whorish.
I did.
Somebody did. I don't know.
think I did. I thought she was super hot. She was slutty looking.
Yeah.
She did look like she's somebody that was more attainable than, say, somebody that was wearing like a turtleneck, I guess.
Right, yeah. Yeah, she's definitely not a turtleneck girl.
No, never in her life has she worn a turtleneck.
Right, yeah.
Now, Nick, you mentioned there was other guys who were hitting on her. Anybody you want to mention?
Other people to point fingers at? I don't know. I mean, Brian Jett would come up to me pretty much every time he saw me and be like, man, are you still fucking that girl? Are you having sex with that girl still? Oh.
I only met Brian Jett a couple times.
Yeah.
I remember him. He looks like a heroin addict from Train Spotting, right? That's the same guy?
It's not a looks like. I'm pretty sure he is a heroin addict.
Is that public knowledge? I don't know.
Well, for the record, we don't really know that Brian Jett is a heroin addict. I mean, I would guess that he is, but I mean, we don't really know.
Thank you.
He's had some problems. He also has a bad leg, so he has a cane. He has tattoos. He, like, worships Johnny Cash. He's one of these kind of guys, right?
Right.
But you said it bothered you more than I was. Is that because that she talked about me a lot, possibly?
Yeah, I think it was because she was receptive to it. She was like, I kind of want to go, like, hang out with Rob sometime. And I was like, that guy hits on you constantly. You're saying that to me. You know the effect that's going to have on me. It was mostly she would piss me off.
She wanted to hang out with Rob without you?
Yeah, I think there was one time where she was like, I'm going to try and see if, like, Rob can bring me on the radio with him. And it's like, why?
To do what?
Why? Yeah, it's like, why? You don't need to. No one cares about what you have to say. Nobody can eye fuck you through the radio. I don't know what you could bring to a radio show, but She would do that all the time. She was constantly like, well, I'm going to hang out with this guy that's like clearly, hitting on me one-on-one. It's going to be fun. We're going to drink and do Xanax in his basement. And it's like, I
remember talking to her and thinking she was really interesting, but I don't remember anything she said. So probably she wasn't, but she was super hot. So I think she could have maybe hypnotized Rob into allowing her to be on the radio. Don't you think, Rob?
Yeah, she probably could have. But shouldn't I get some credit for not actually like having sex with her?
So let me stop for a second. And I don't know if I'm going to get an answer from you, but I do want to know if there was a situation where you could have had sex with her, would you have? The hesitation I like, because that's an honest answer. If you would have said no flat out, I would have said that's a lie.
I make bad decisions, but I didn't. Maybe that means then I wouldn't have.
She was naked in your bed.
Well, no, it was never to that point. It wasn't like I was seeking her out.
No, but did you talk to her on social media almost immediately after you met her?
I don't remember, but she did hang out one night at my house. They'd broken up by then.
Without Nick?
Yeah, and nothing happened.
Oh, you're the worst human alive.
And nothing happened. So there.
I wouldn't care because, now I wouldn't care.
I would care in that I would want it to have happened because it would have been hilarious.
Yeah. I have made the mistake in the past of not fucking somebody's girlfriend when I wanted to. Because, even if it isn't someone that, you only kind of know, it's like, how's that going to make them feel? But they're probably going to break up. Like, if you have the opportunity to fuck that girl, so does somebody else who is going to make that fucking decision. Right. And at the end, you're probably still going to be friends with that dude, maybe a year after you fucked their girlfriend.
And now,
I would say
Nick and I are much closer and better friends now than we were at the time. So I would never entertain those thoughts now.
Well, now he said he doesn't care. That's silly.
If he had a new girl and I was single, I would never. But Norman is right in the sense that I do that's how I talk to women. I basically hit on them.
Yeah.
But I put to every woman, so that makes it okay.
Yeah, that's what Norman said to me. Because anytime I was coming back to D.C. to do comedy, Norman would be like, oh, you should hit up Rob. And I'm like, I don't know if me and Rob are really friends. Any interaction I had with him was like, oh, hey.
I'm pretty angry with him, so why would I hit him up? You mean to fight him? Oh, I got you. Okay.
Right. Yeah. No, it was never like that. It was never like a fight. It was just, I felt like I was in this weird position where nobody had any respect for me because they were all trying to fuck my girlfriend.
Well, I almost immediately thought you were